There's some amazing videos out there about learning data science by Kenji, Tina, and Krish. Today, I wanted to add my own flavor to the topic. Let's talk about how to learn data science in 2021. I'll be giving you a complete roadmap to learning data science in just 3 months with 4 to 5 hours of effort every day. 3 months is just an average. It can take you less time or more time depending on how quickly you progress with the course. I've intentionally made this course very applications and project driven so that you can keep yourself motivated while doing the course. I'm Samanvay, a data scientist living in Sydney, Australia. Back when I started in data science around 5 years ago, data science was not as popular as it is today. I was lucky enough that I learned data science on the job, which is a lot more applications driven and practical than learning data science through university or through an online course. So when I sat down to create a roadmap for you guys, I made sure to make it as practical and project based as possible because I truly want the learning to be driven by your own curiosity. Enough talking for now, let's get to the roadmap. The roadmap consists of 6 2-week blocks like you can see here. By the end of the 3 months, these are the skills you would have learned. And these skills are essential in becoming an effective data science. And as we go through the detailed breakdown, I'll explain to you how it applies. Right off the bat, you'll notice that each of the block consists of learning a course along with doing a project. And you'll do both of those things at the same time. The course is there to teach you the basics of the given topic for that block, whereas the real learning will be happening when you'll apply those skills into your projects. Don't worry if you get a little bit lost with the projects to begin with. You'll definitely figure it out. And if you have any problems, Google is always there. Even in the workplace as a data scientist, we always Google solutions to the problems we have. It's more than likely that 99% of your problems has been encountered by someone else online. So you're effectively standing on the shoulders of giants to speed up your learning. But don't just copy paste whatever anyone says online. Try to work out why that given approach is the solution to the problem you're having. As you start with the projects, you'll learn new concepts and face new problems. For example, if you decide to analyze a data set and you're not really sure how to open up a CSV file and convert it to a data frame, then once you've Googled that, you'll figure out that df.read_CSV is the answer. So it's going to be quite an iterative process. You'll be faced with a problem, you'll try to figure out the answer, and you'll learn along the way. So this is very similar to the top-down approach that Krish mentions in his videos. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into each of those blocks, and I'll recommend you courses and projects to do. All the links will be in the description, so don't worry about writing them down. The first 2 blocks will be about learning to code in Python. Python is going to be your bread and butter in data science. The learning resource for this will be learnpython.org. So by the end of block 2, you should have completed the Learn the Basics and the data science tutorials as part of that course. In addition to this, you'll also learn how to install Jupyter Notebook on your computer. This is going to be the tool you use for completing all the projects I talk about today. Additionally, in block 2, I also want you to look at this short tutorial about object-oriented programming. This is a type of programming that is one of the best approaches to writing clean, production-ready code. The project for block 1 will be doing some basic data analysis on the house prices dataset on Kaggle. You could do things like finding unique values in different columns or finding a mean of the sale prices. Take it easy with the project and let your curiosity drive your data analysis. And I know it might seem a little bit scary to use pandas just in your first 2 weeks, but you'll get through it. The project for block 2 will be doing some data visualization with the same house prices dataset. For this, you'll be using matplotlib. Here's a blog post that'll teach you all the basics for using the package. Producing effective plots is essential for being an effective data scientist because a lot of the times you'll be required to analyze different data sets and produce insights and present them in a visual format because your stakeholders don't want to be inundated with the details and the nuances of the data sets, and they definitely don't want to look at a pandas data frame. So learning how to create beautiful and meaningful visualizations is always a great skill to have. As a rule of thumb, I would recommend spending half of the 4 to 5 hours a day on the course and the other half on the project. Let's move on to block 3. In this block, you'll be learning the basics of statistics. For the course component, the learning resource will be the Statistics and Probabilities course on Khan Academy. Pay extra attention to data distributions, hypothesis testing, and study design, because often as a data scientist, you'll be required to test data products through the means of A/B testing. And then you'll have to use different hypothesis testing methods to quantify your results and figure out whether or not the results you have gotten are statistically significant. The project for block 3 will be to create statistical plots of the house prices dataset. You can do things like plotting box plots or making correlation plots of different features. This will be very similar to the data visualization task that you did at the end of block 2. But in this case, you're more interested in creating visualization that gives you an insight into the data. You could say that you're applying more of a data science-y approach rather than just creating pretty graphs. If you're enjoying the video so far, then consider subscribing. I make weekly videos about demystifying AI. Now let's talk about blocks 4, 5, and 6. These blocks will focus on learning data science principles. For blocks 4 and 5, you'll do the machine learning course by Stanford on Coursera. And by the end of block 5, you should have completed all the way up to the end of week 3 of that course. This will teach you the basics of linear algebra, linear regression, and logistic regression. You'll also have to use Octave very briefly, but it's very similar to Python, so you definitely won't have too much trouble picking it up after blocks 1 and 2. In block 6, you'll do an intro to machine learning on Kaggle. This is a pretty fun course. It'll teach you the basics of decision trees, random forest, and about machine learning pipelining. Now let's talk about the projects that you'll do for these blocks. For block 4, you'll work on doing an exploratory data analysis on the Titanic dataset on Kaggle. This is a great opportunity to apply all of the skills you learned in blocks 1, 2, and 3. For block 5, your project will be building a simple logistic regression classifier using scikit-learn. This is the dataset you'll be using on Kaggle. And if you need some help with this task, then you can check out this blog post. But obviously don't just copy and paste as is. Try to understand how each of those steps is necessary. Finally, for block 6, you'll be working on the famous Titanic survival challenge on Kaggle. For this, try to use either a decision tree or a random forest so that you can apply your learnings from the Kaggle course straight into this challenge. And if you get stuck, you can always check out the highest rated notebooks on that project. From this roadmap, I've left out SQL, model deployments, and more advanced AI topics like neural networks, deep learning, and NLP, because these are very involved topics that will need another roadmap on top of this one. This roadmap is simply a crash course into data science if you're starting from zero. If you need any help from me or have any questions, then leave a comment below, or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. If you enjoyed the video, then smash the like button, and I'll see you next time.